Alrighty, hello. This is going to be part 2 of the Resident Evil 2 Remake Leon A No Damage Hardcore S Plus playthrough. Again, this is the first cut at that pause menu because my recording got fucked up and I really had no choice because of how I'm recording this. So this is going to be a very awkward cut, but we'll try to make the best of it here. To start off, coming out from where we were last time on the stairs, there are 3 zombies in this room, as you probably just saw. One right around the corner you want to take care of, and then there's one down that hall, and one laying on the ground against the wall who will reanimate later. And we want to kill that one before he reanimates. Because the shotgun has the upgrade now, it makes for easy headshots at long range. Don't forget that knife on that barrel, or at least bring a knife down here with you. I told you to bring a knife earlier. If you ended up using that knife, make sure you grabbed one. There's also a yellow gunpowder on a pile of sewage to our left. Don't forget that. We're going to stick a left here and just press against the wall. Because this G-Mutant is going to pop out of the water and grab us. And we're going to need to use that knife to escape to not take damage. Now, the reason why we need to press against the wall to the left is he will actually come out of the water and push us forwards past where he is. And if you are unaware, using a flashbang or a knife causes Leon to stumble backwards after using it, which makes it so that you cannot run by G-adults before they can grab you again. The only way to be able to run past them after escaping a grab is to use a frag grenade. So over here in the office, there's a box of shotgun shells on the office chair, and then we're going to come over here to this locker and use the combination SZF to get some magnum rounds. Then we're going to drop down here, skip the cutscene, and we are actually going to get ready to head back to R.P.D 3, because as I mentioned earlier, Leon needs to go back to the R.P.D a 3rd time in order to acquire his magnum. So we're going to be dropping off everything but the shotgun and the shells, and we're going to be taking the STARS badge with us. I was just making sure that I didn't need anything else here. Again, apologize for the weird cutting of this. Just going to have to make do with it until I get around to re-recording these playthroughs no save, no damage. And we'll see if I can make that work. So, we're going to lower this bridge, go across, and then head over to the left-hand side, because we need the T-square crank handle in order to even get back into the RPD, and to go get the key. We actually don't need to go get the shotgun stock yet, but we will be later. Stairs-skate down these stairs and pop both these zombies in the head. The one in the back actually got up because the first shotgun blast that I fired actually managed to hit scan him in the background while I was shooting the first zombie's head. And hit him, so he reanimated early, but normally he will reanimate when you come back through this area after acquiring the chest pieces. So make sure to pop him in the head whether he gets up or not. Just bop him on the ground. That way he doesn't reanimate later and cause you trouble. We're actually not going to get the chest pieces just yet. Like I just said earlier, we're going back to R.P.D 3, so we need to come down here and grab the sewer key in order to go back. And then we're just going to turn right around and head on back. We're going to pull this and open the gate, the sewer gate, to our right, and then we're going to turn left and get this frag grenade on the ledge back here. Leon is going to need around 10 frags and around 6 flashbangs. We want to stick a left here so that the guy coming out of the pipe doesn't hit us. And also, yes, I know I've hammered home quite a few times that we need a lot of frags and flashes, but it's very important for Leon's last boss. And I think I even fuck it up in this run to show what happens if you fuck it up and don't do it right. To the left on this barrel is a box of shotgun shells. And we would definitely want to grab those. Then we're going to turn around after the elevator's all the way up and shoot this zombie in the head. And then grab the hiding place film. We need the hiding place film to get a magnum upgrade. When we come through this door, a zombie's going to fall down. Make sure to kill him. Excuse me. And then, I don't know why I was trying to decide which door to open first. You want to run down here and open this door and grab the large gunpowder, which we can use later. And then come back this way and use the key on the other door, which will then allow you to discard the key later to get it out of your inventory. I don't know why I was looking at things in this room. Don't bother, you don't need anything out of this room. The jazz flyer there is what has the locker combination on it, the one we opened earlier for magnum rounds. We're going to take the elevator back up to R.P.D. Like I said, make sure you have the hiding place film and the stars badge. Over to the left, coming out of the elevator, there are some white buckets, and you want to grab 5 more magnum rounds off of that, and then come up here and unlock this door. Before G1, there's actually a frag we could have gotten, but we ignored until now in order to get it more efficiently, because we're coming back. And then we're going to plop the stars badge into this container here to get the custom slide for the magnum. And then head right back on upstairs. This is around the point that I actually make my first save, which should have been the first cut for the video, but unfortunately couldn't be. And there is going to be a cut here, because every time I make a save, I quit to the main menu to go look at the footage and deliberate on things, and then come back to the game. You want to drop off the frags here, but I forgot to use the T-square first. You should run over here and do this first before accessing the item box to open back up the R.P.D. And then put away the T-square and the frags. You want to bring the gunpowder, or maybe not. Do I not bring the gunpowder? Oh wait, yeah, my bad. We already have the gunpowder to mix with that. I actually should have just mixed it right there, to be honest. But I'm going to make my first save here. And there's going to be a cut, and then after that cut you'll see the inventory that I've picked out. It's basically just going to be the shotgun and the shells in order to have something to shoot a zombie with if we have to for some reason, like Marvin, if he wakes up and gets in our way, excuse me. The stars badge for the stars office, and the custom slides for the magnum, and the hiding place film to go develop it. So speaking of developing the hiding place film, we're going to run over to the west office here and just look for this zombie. And speaking of which, getting in our way, he got in our way, so we're just gonna pop him and move on with our lives. We're gonna walk through this door because remember, there are lickers, and be very careful not to touch this licker to the right, who very commonly is almost in your way. You have to just make sure to squeeze on by him quickly so that he doesn't actually touch you in aggro. Wouldn't recommend running as early as I did there, but regardless, you're going to run over into the dark room and develop the only film we're developing, because that will give us access to another magnum upgrade that is hidden in Wesker's office, in his desk. We're going to stair skate up here, and we're actually not going to the stars office just yet. We're going to go up an extra floor, because there is another locker up here that we didn't open earlier during R.P.D. 1 and 2. The combination for this locker is DCM, and it contains more magnum rounds. So now we're going to go back down to the second floor and take the valve way back to the stars office. Now remember to walk, through, I can't talk tonight, through this door, just like the last one, because this licker is right on the ceiling above you and he'll aggro on you immediately. You don't want that. Come over here and check this drawer for the upgrade. There's also another film in there that you can develop. of STARS member Rebecca Chambers. Little Easter egg. We're gonna turn the STARS badge into a USB key and use it on the computer in order to open the armory door and gain access to the Lightning Hawk, which is Leon's Magnum. Once you have the Lightning Hawk, we're just going to load it back up with bullets and combine both the custom slide and open this box for the red dot sight and combine that. The custom slide increases damage, and the red dot sight, increases both accuracy and greatly reduces the time it takes to get a focus shot out of the Magnum in order to do more damage. Very important, both of those upgrades for what we're going to be using the Magnum for. So next we're going to walk the other way down the hallway to the right, and once we get around the corner we can run because the licker can no longer hear us, but we're taking the shortcut way, both because it's a little faster and because we really don't want to deal with those two lickers in the hallway downstairs again, because they can kind of crowd in a weird way and make it difficult to get past them. If Marvin gets in your way, you can just pop him too. We're not hurting for shotgun shells. But we are going to be putting away the shotgun shells, and we're going to be keeping the Lightning Hawk, the bullets, and the shotgun. Actually, I think I decided to take the rest of my Lightning Hawk ammo with me. No, did I decide to make shells? Let's see. No, I did take the rest of the Lightning Hawk ammo with me. I shouldn't have needed all that ammo, to be honest. Shouldn't being keyword. If you want to be safe, just go ahead and bring it with you. But you definitely want the shotgun in your inventory with the Magnum, but you don't want the shells. You just want it loaded up with 8 shots. We're going to be using the shotgun in a couple instances with those 8 shots, but we can't afford any extra inventory space being clogged up by the ammo, because we're going to be balancing a very tight inventory in this next section. So just make sure you have the Magnum and the shotgun, head back down to the sewer, and we're going to be headed to get the rest of the chest pieces to finish the sewer section. So, coming right out of this door to the right, we're going to be grabbing the rook plug, that we ignored earlier, and then heading back down this elevator. And we're going to have to do a little bit of a G-mutant dodge here. So basically, if you're on a platform above a G-adult, we're going to shoot him to get him come out of the water. If you're on a platform above them, they will come to the platform, and then they will do this motion. Where, see how he put his head up, and then he kind of wiggled downward? Don't do what I just did there. I'll explain. When they tilt their head up, they're going to submerge, and while submerging, they can't attack Claire or Leon, and you can run by them. Once they're fully submerged and you get close to them, they will pop out of the water, stunning Claire or Leon, and they can grab you. I actually jumped in the water too late there and risked getting grabbed because he stunned me. Luckily, I was already on the other side of him and he didn't manage to get a grab off, but I could have been grabbed. So what you want to do is, as soon as you see them put their head straight up, you want to jump in the water and run past. So after that, we're going to be coming down here to this gross-ass place.
This is getting worse.
And we're going to have to kill a few G-adults. So we're going to take out our shotgun and do what we did last time, pop a G-adult out of the water. Then we're going to switch to our Magnum. And we're going to aim for the eye with focus shots. Wait till the reticle focuses in, and you don't have to hit their eye, but you should. And it takes about 4 Magnum rounds, give or take. This next G-adult, I like to pop in the shoulder with the shotgun to try to burst off his eye casing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You might, you can fire an extra shotgun shell if you have to, but make sure you keep 1 shotgun shell in your shotgun. I actually missed a shot there, so don't miss that shot. Be as accurate as you can, because Magnum ammo is precious. We are going to be using the Magnum for one more situation after this. Before we move on, we're going to duck into the left here, into this alcove, and there's more Magnum rounds to kind of supplement the fact that you just lost some. And we're going to go ahead and squeeze to the left here to avoid another G-adult that is coming through the pipe to the right. Then we're going to come in here and solve this little chess piece puzzle to acquire the rest of the chess pieces and the flamethrower, because we need the flamethrower, but not for the reason you might think. Leon is actually not going to use the flamethrower against Ivies in order to kill them or down them, because it's a waste. We're going to be using them against G3 and G2. There is a zombie that's hanging on the ledge there. You can go ahead and pop him in the head, which is why we saved at least one shotgun shell. That way you can decapitate that zombie, because he will reanimate once you run up the stairs and grab the king plug. We're going to slap the king plug in this door here to get the flamethrower, then take it back, go out here and grab the queen plug again, and go put the queen plug where we found it. Then run through the door to the left and put the king plug in that door. Then run on back through the previous door, grab the queen plug again, then run around to the newly opened king plug door and take that one back. Now we have all three of the plugs that we need and the flamethrower. Now outside, this next G-adult, the one that came through the pipe, can be in one of three positions. In one of the positions, he'll be right in front of you, and you'll be able to get him to do the submerging thing I talked about, and just run by him. In the second, he'll be in the alcove to the right, and he won't be a problem. The third, he'll be right in front of you. If he's right in front of you, you're going to probably need to kill him, so just go ahead and pop him in the eye. We can afford the magnum rounds, so don't worry about it too much. As you saw, it took 3 shots directly to the eye. But like I said, it takes around 4, so if you need to spend 4, that's fine. Just be careful not to spend too many down here. But I actually spent quite a bit, even missed a shot, and still made this run work, so you'll see, you'll be fine. For the next G-adult that's going to pop out of the water, he's going to try to do a grab attack, and all you got to do is run backwards until he whiffs, and then turn around and run by him. That way we don't have to deal with him and waste any more magnum rounds. The reason Leon has to use the magnum to kill these G-adults is because otherwise he would need to use frag grenades after getting grabbed by them to run by them. You have to run up to them, let them grab you, use a frag, and then run by. And that would cost you a total of 2 to 3 frag grenades in some instances. And Leon can't afford that because he actually needs frag grenades even more than Claire. So coming back upstairs, we're going to go to this safe that we ignored earlier. The combination should be 2, 12, 8, and it is actually written on the right-hand side of the safe. But regardless, we're going to be getting the stock for the shotgun, which causes the shotgun's refire rate to increase significantly. The rate of fire goes up so that you can just pump out shells at whatever you need to pump out shells at. This helps, like, extraordinarily for the IVs later in the lab, because we're actually going to be using the shotgun on IVs. As I mentioned earlier, we're not using the flamethrower. Bear with me on that one. But we're going to put away the magnum and the magnum rounds for now because we no longer need them. We need to save them for later bosses. And take back our shotgun shells, as well as 1 single flash grenade. Then we're going to solve this puzzle here. We want to put the queen on the right-hand wall, middle panel. Then put the king beside her. Then we're going to put the rook where the knight was. Then put the knight on the correct panel that is displayed where it says the knight goes. And then the bishop in the final slot. And that will open the door. So, like I said, just make sure you have the shotgun, shells, and flash grenade for this. And also the flamethrower. You can see I didn't put it away. I didn't mention I put it away either. Don't put that away yet, because we're actually going to be using the chemical flamethrower in order to one-cycle G2. It's actually a lot easier than what Claire has to deal with. First of all, we're going to restore the power. The combination, I messed it up for some reason, is 1, 2, 4, aka flip switches 1, 2, and 4. And then we're going to run over to this yellow hose and follow that path that I took to get G to try to strike you. Then we're going to hide behind this green hose so that he can't hit us. He won't be able to hit us while we're standing here at all. He's just going to stick his hand through exactly where I'm standing. And we're going to pop him with 2 shells. I think I actually pop him with 3 here, but it should only take 2. Pop him with 3 if you want. Pop him with a few shells when he sticks his arm through. The reason we do that is to make this section go faster. You really don't have to if you're concerned about ammo. Then we're going to run by him when he opens the shutter. And we're going to pop 2 shells at him before we choose to run away. This is going to cause G2 to flail around like an idiot. in the room that he was just in, and will delay the time period that he comes after you, so that he doesn't like immediately try to swing at you while you're dropping down here, which might get you hit. We're gonna switch over to the flamethrower, run over here and hit the crate button, and grab the other flash grenade. Then we're gonna turn around and flash G2, and we're just gonna spray him with the flamethrower until he goes down. Once he goes down, we're gonna stop spraying for a moment. We're gonna cease and then start spraying him again once he's on one knee until 100 flame fuel. So look at my counter in the bottom right. Keep spraying him until we hit up around 100. And then we're gonna flash him again in the middle so that he can get hit by the crate. And then we're just gonna spray the rest of our flame fuel. And then once he goes down again, we're gonna run over and hit the crate button a second time. And the crate will hit him and one cycle him. You can actually do that slightly faster without a second flash grenade, but I did the second flash grenade to be safe, just in case. Don't want to take a hit at G2. So there was a knife also beside the crate button that we grabbed, and also, very important, there are magnum rounds on those steel beams over by where you drop down, and we need those magnum rounds, especially since we've been spending a lot of them on the G adults. So next is just a walking and talking segment between Ada and Leon. We're just gonna sprint ahead and head on down to Nest, to the final part of the game, which is the laboratory. One cycling G2, like we just did, is, like I mentioned earlier, very, very easy compared to what Claire has to go through. It's not hard with Claire, but it's almost like a puzzle with her. You need to do things in a specific order, with a very specific amount of ammo, and a very specific amount of items, with very specific timing and very specific positioning, in order to get it to work. If you fuck it up, it is very easy to do it slightly wrong, and he won't get one cycled, or he'll manage to get a hit on you, or he'll go down in the wrong position and the crate won't hit him. Whereas with Leon, it's kind of almost automatic, because all you have to do is spray with the flamethrower until a certain amount of fuel. So Ada has given us the wristband. We're down in the Nest now, and or the laboratory, and we're just gonna start the lab section. This section is a little bit trickier with Leon, kind of like the rest of the game, because of the fact that we are not going to be killing Ivies, we're just going to be stunning them, and there is a little bit of RNG that can hinder you, but I'll try to get you through it. You really don't want to use the flamer on Ivies, although if you really wanted, I suppose, because we developed the hiding place film, when we go back to the R.P.D, you can go back to the presentation room, the room where we got our first box of handgun rounds, and open a desk in the back left-hand corner for more flamer fuel. You get about 200 or 300 more flamer fuel, I think, and then you could use that 200 or 300 flamer fuel on Ivies specifically, and save the rest of it. If you really wanted, you could make that extra trip. We're going to run into that little room back there, grab some shotgun shells, and then we're going to put away everything but the shotgun, the shells, and the ID wristband. Because we only need the shotgun with us for this part. We're going to run over to the right, we're going to bank a hard right coming through that door to grab the frag grenade, and then we're going to come to the table at the end of the left-hand side and grab a thing of flamer fuel, which we're going to be saving for G3. Then we're going to climb up here, come down around, and there is a large gunpowder directly to our left, as well as a combat knife. Make sure to equip the combat knife instead of the frag here, because there's a zombie through this door who can be in one of like 3 places. Leon shooting at the sky in order to hit that zombie's head. And you don't want him to grab you and then end up using a frag grenade to get out, so just equip the combat knife so if he grabs you, you can stun him with the knife and then shoot him with the shotgun. There's more shotgun shells on that table right there, and then the locker, the first locker, has the burner nozzle, which is an upgrade for the flamethrower we need for later. If you're wondering why the shotgun was aimed straight upward and still blew the zombie's head off, guns in this game are hit scan, which basically means wherever that reticle is pointing when you aim the gun is actually where the bullets go, and the game is just detecting if there is something within the reticle or not, and if there is, then the bullets travel straight to the target. So because of that, even if the gun's model, like the one Leon is holding, is behind a wall or aimed upward or etc., if the reticle is actually not obfuscated by the object and is on the target, it will hit them. So we're just going to run over here and activate these bridges and head on over to the main part of the lab, where we're going to have to start dealing with IVs. I think I might... Yeah, I'm going to stop in over here to get rid of all these unnecessary objects. We don't actually need this blue gunpowder, I don't think, but I grabbed it anyway because I forgot it with Claire. We're going to put away the gunpowders. We're going to put away, or excuse me, we're going to put away the blue gunpowder. We're going to keep the large gunpowder. Put away the fuel and the burner nozzle. We're going to keep the ID wristband, of course, the shotgun and its shells, and a knife just in case we get snagged by an Ivy. Because Ivies will IK you or instant kill you if you get grabbed without a defense item. We're going to pick up that yellow gunpowder on the way past the first Ivy, sitting on like a little tray, and then we're just going to keep running. And as you can see, that Ivy has to stand up. And because he has to stand up, he doesn't actually aggro or get up fast enough to grab us. Next, we're going to watch this keypad, and the code is 3123. And the second code is 2067. I know these are shapes and not numbers, but just imagine them as a numerical keypad, like a numpad. And it's easier to memorize those shapes as numbers that they correspond to, rather than the actual bullshit-ass shapes that they appear as. Next, we're going to run down here and fill the cartridge, the dispersal cartridge, and the code for this is red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. That is the fewest number of moves needed in order to fill that cartridge. Just red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green. We're going to run over next to this hazmat body and grab a frag grenade, and then we're going to walk around the table and get another large gunpowder. Out here, we're going to have to deal with our first Ivy. And basically what you want to do is just stun him by shooting him in the bulbs with the shotgun until you get a stun. I actually could have run by him on the first stun. I don't know why I shot him twice. Just try to shoot them in a bulb, then run by them. They shouldn't be able to grab you. If they do, you have a knife to get out. There's another large gunpowder over to the right here, which we're going to need for later. For crafting as many shotgun shells as we can, basically just to deal with Ivies and a few zombies. Speaking of a few zombies, there are shotgun shells to the left on this couch, and then there are 3 zombies on the ground. They will reanimate later on if we don't pop them now, so we're just going to decapitate them and get rid of them. We're going to start walking before we hit this column that I just passed on the wall, because if you don't, the liquor at the end of this hallway is going to drop down and already be aggroed. So before you hit that column, you want to make sure to stop sprinting, break out into a walk, and then wait till you get by his head, and you'll hear him kind of roar, because he's going to touch you. But if you just start sprinting as soon as you get to that point, he's just going to whiff and he's not going to hit you. Coming into this room, there's a zombie straight to the right. We want to get rid of him by popping him in the head. I missed the first decapitation, but that's fine. There's going to be a zombie that drops down from the ceiling here, and I got stuck running into the wall, but we want to also kill him. And then we're going to come into this room, and on the left there is another yellow gunpowder, which we can fuse or combine with one of the large gunpowders from earlier to make more shotgun shells. I was cutting it kind of close on inventory space here, but if you find yourself needing an inventory slot, you can just trash the knife we brought, because the only reason we brought that knife was to get away from Ivy, so it is okay as long as we play it safe to get rid of that. Next, we're going to walk back into this room because the lickers are obviously still present, and we're going to solve the signal modulator puzzle. But we need to do a little bit of a setup first. We're going to walk to the second table around the left-hand side of it, and we're going to try to get these lickers to follow us to one direction. Because if you don't, what they can do is they can pincer you in and cut off your escape. We're going to tune the signal modulator to Murph. Now, if you're wondering what the hell is going on here, I actually have a broken controller with a slight analog stick drift on the right-hand stick, and that was what I was using to record this. So the signal kind of goes all over the place sometimes. I need to buy a new controller. And then as you can see, one of them actually tried to pincer me in, and I just barely made it out. So like I said earlier, you definitely want to even pull them further than I did, and try to get them not to pincer you in. Then solve the puzzle and walk on out, and head down the hall back here to the newly opened door, because the power is now restored. Because we're going to freeze the dispersal cartridge in order to ready the solution. This is all just puzzle, or not even puzzle, story stuff that we need to do.
Cooling complete.
So we're going to head back out here, make sure to stop running again, because we don't want the lickers to aggro. And I was just checking my time, I think, there, or something. We're going to head down this hallway and to the right in order to get to a save room and grab some items. So, there is a large gunpowder over here on this, I don't know why I can't think of the word for it, but that little table to the left. And then we're going to mix that for shotgun shells, run over to the shelf and grab the flamer fuel, and then put away all of our shotgun shells except for one stack and the knife. And we're going to go ahead and pull out, or grab, excuse me, another knife on that tray, that's the word I was looking for, on our way out, so that we have a knife coming up here. But we need the inventory spaces, so we're not going to grab or keep both of them. Up here, be very careful where these IVs are positioned. They might be right in front of you, and you might have to do some quick shotgun work. And you just want to find a way to head back to the door up here. So just stun the IVs however you need to, and then run by. I almost got tagged here, but if you do get grabbed, like I said, that's what the knife is for. You just use the knife to get them off of you. We're going to run in here and use the dispersal cartridge and grab this flash grenade we left on the table earlier. We want to try not to use that, but if you have to use it as a defense item against the IVs, you can. But we're going to try to save that. I tried to preemptively pop some more of the bulbs on these IVs in an attempt to make this run easier. I don't really know if it worked. But basically, the concept is Mr. X is going to start chasing us once we pick up this ID cartridge upgrade. So I was deliberating on whether or not to shoot this one too. I actually should have got closer so I didn't whiff those two shots. Anyway, I'm downing these IVs because, like I was just saying, Mr. X is going to chase us right after picking this up. And we need to get away very fast and shoot any IVs in our way very fast. So I was trying to make it so that none of these IVs would get up. Unfortunately, the last one did get up and managed to grab me. So we had to use the knife to get out. You want to be very careful about using defense items, because even though they don't cause you to take damage from the IVs, Mr. X will catch up to you. So we want to run in here and stun this first IV, and then stick towards him to run around him, and we get around both him and the other IV. If you did that correctly, you should get out just fine. It is a little bit riskier than the way Claire does it, but that's because we cannot afford to kill any of these IVs with the flamer fuel. Like I said, if you wanted to go back to R.P.D. 3, or we do go back, if you wanted to go back to the press room in R.P.D. 3 and grab the hidden flamer fuel bottle from there, you could down the IVs using the shotgun, which you do by popping all of their bulbs, as I did earlier. You could fully down them and then spray them with the flamethrower until they die. They'll like catch on fire and then they'll turn black and stop wiggling around. You've charred them to death, basically, and you could do that to get rid of them, to make that safer if you wanted to spend the extra time to do it. We're going to pick up a frag grenade next to that USS soldier's body. And then we're going to take out... you actually don't need to do this inventory management here. I'm going to put away the shotgun and take out the magnum, the flamethrower upgrade, the flame fuel, and the magnum rounds. And we're going to combine the upgrade with the flamethrower, and then we're going to reload all of our guns. And I was taking combat knives with me as well. I'm going to take 2 combat knives. We're also going to go over here to the signal modulator puzzle, tune it to OSS, and then tune it without a broken controller that fucks you up. And then we don't need that signal modulator anymore. Like I said, we can do our inventory management in the next coming up room, actually. And I still need to put away the signal modulator, so I'm still going to open the box again. I don't know why I just didn't do it there. Regardless, we're going to get ready for G3, because G3 is a big choke point for this run, which is also why I did this run with saves, and also why I needed to bring the magnum. So we're going to investigate this, get done the cutscene, come in here, and there is a large gunpowder to our right on a tray. I guess I'm going to ignore those to first put away the signal modulator, but I should have done this after. Or am I going to save first as well? Damn. Maybe I did remember to pick up those gunpowders, did I not? I guess maybe I thought I didn't need them. There's going to be another cut here where I quit to the main menu. And then I load back in. Let's see if I remembered these gunpowders. It doesn't look like I did. Maybe I think I didn't need them. Well, there's a large gunpowder on the tray to the right there. And then behind us on the desk opposite of the saving desk, there's a yellow, and you can make more shotgun shells. Anyway, G3 coming up. So what we're going to do is immediately after the cutscene, we're going to run up to his leg and pop his eyeball. Then we're going to use the stun to run behind him and pop the back eyeball. We're going to run across from him, and we're going to use a focused shot on his shoulder eye. Grab this burner fuel, and then run over to him and spray him with the flamethrower while he's stunned. We want to make sure our positioning is to either side of this middle room so we don't get caught in one of those little alcoves. So just kind of burn him at an angle. Once he stands up, go ahead and pull back out the magnum, make sure you're reloaded, and we're going to try to get one of 3 things to happen. We need to pop his eyes again, and we're hoping for certain attacks. By aiming at him, we're hoping that he'll lunge, and we can get his back eye, just like that happened there. You basically just want to stand a couple feet away, and then aim at him. Then we're going to try to hit his leg eye, which I succeeded at, and then the shoulder eye. Now, luckily, he actually did this combo, which is one of the other moves that he can end up doing while he's aiming at you. You just run backwards, or you're aiming at him, excuse me. You just run backwards, away from him, and then wait until he slams his big hand down, and then deliver 2 magnum rounds to his shoulder to pop that eye. If you did this correctly, you can then just spray him with the flamethrower here until it's empty, and he's going to go into phase 3. We're going to reload with the flamethrower fuel we picked up in the boss room, and we're going to keep spraying him. And then he's gonna walk over to the wall, and he's gonna pull this panel off. And by this point, around the point that you reach 100 fuel, he should be dead. He just can't die until this animation is over. So all you gotta do is pop him after he starts walking. I popped him too early, right here. I popped him a little bit too early, but all you gotta do is pop him after he starts walking, and he should only have 1 HP. So you can just kill him. He just can't actually die until he's done pulling that panel off the wall. We're going to run over there and grab a flash grenade, and then we're going to run to where we got the burner fuel, and we're going to run over and grab this frag grenade, and then there's 1 more flash grenade on the way out. Now that is the whole reason I grabbed the magnum, because you have to use the shotgun if you don't have the magnum, and the shotgun takes way longer to pop the eyes, way more shots I should say, and it's not a thing about conserving time, it's a thing that if you do any part of that fight wrong, G3 can very easily hit you. Like I said, when you're aiming at him, he might not jump at you, and you might not be able to run past him. He might jump at you, and you might get caught by the jump. That's why we bring the 2 combat knives. If you get caught by the jump and don't dodge it like I did, you can use a combat knife to get out without him hurting you, and then you can pop him in the shoulder while he's stunned by the knife, rather than the back eye. But you need to find some way to get the leg eye, the back eye, and the shoulder eye. And the easiest way to get the shoulder eye is through a knife stun after getting grabbed, or from that combo where he swings 4 times, and the last swing is a big downward swing of his big claw. And the easiest way to get the back eye is if he tries to pick up one of the objects in the room and throw them at you, or after dodging past his jump. You need to be very accurate, you just need to be careful. And that is why we made a save here, and that's why I think to no save, no damage this, I'm going to need the Magnum, because the shotgun is far riskier. It takes far more shots, which is why I recommended spending the time that we have spent during this run to collect extra supplies to fight these next few bosses. So now that Birkin is dead, dead air quotes, once G3 is dealt with, we're going to come down here, and I'm going to make my final save of the run. I saved 3 times, as I mentioned in the beginning, because Super Tyrant is coming up, Leon's final boss, and he is just a pain in the balls. We're going to pull back out our shotgun here. You don't have to put away the knives. I put away the knives. You don't have to. All you need is the shotgun and the shells. You don't have to do anything I'm doing here. Just pull out the shotgun and the shells. And we're going to save again using the ink ribbon and typewriter to the right. This is the final save of the run. There's going to be another cut here because, like I said, every time I saved, I quit out. So it's going to pick up right here with me loading back in. When I was in the main menu, I actually took the time to switch the soundtrack from the original soundtrack, which I mostly use for the menuing noises, the beep boops of the classic game, to the remake soundtrack because the escape music and final boss music for Leon is just fucking amazing. We're going to come down here, and there are 2 Ivies. There's a third that's going to be getting up behind you, but he's too slow to grab you. So just run past him, stun the first Ivy, stun the second Ivy, and then run around him. If you didn't put away those knives, which like I said you don't have to, then if you get grabbed by one of them, you can just use the knife to escape and it's no big deal. This music is seriously so good. Tyrant is going to drop down right here, and you don't have to shoot him, I'm just being an ass. You just run him around this, and then go through the door. I would not recommend aiming at him, in fact, because he might immediately do a haymaker at you, and it might tag you if you're not quick. There's a zombie on the left as we're going through that little tunnel. You don't gotta worry about him, he's not gonna grab you. Music cuts right here, awkwardly. And then, we're gonna put away everything but the magnum and our grenades. We're gonna pull out all of our grenades, and using our last 2 inventory slots, grab the spark plug. So there is a way to do this without using the magnum, and if you're playing B campaign, I would actually recommend that method, but I'm going to be showing how to do this easier with the magnum. We're going to run to this corner, and we're going to focus shot Tyrant's heart twice, and then shoot him again in the heart. He's going to stagger back. Then we're going to unequip the magnum and pull out the grenades, and stun him with grenades every time he goes to walk forward. So every time he regains his composure, we're going to throw a grenade in front of him to stagger him until we've used 7 grenades. So that was 3. This is grenade number 4. Grenade number 5. Grenade number 6. And coming up, grenade number 7. Now this will cause him to jump after that last grenade. So get ready, he's going to leap and then dodge to the right. Go forward and right, and he'll whiff. Now just run far away from him, and when he gets up, turn around, throw another grenade. The reason why we are unequipping the Magnum is because Leon will throw grenades faster without the Magnum equipped. Now right there, I did not actually take damage. His jump attack has an AoE, which will stun you but does not do damage. Now, here's where I fucked up. Basically, when I threw that second grenade, I should have been prepared to dodge again and avoid the jump, and I was not prepared, so he almost hit me, and then I had to run away from him until I got an opportunity to start throwing grenades again. And so that was a pretty big fuck up. But basically every like second grenade, you need to dodge his jump. Then immediately after the rocket launcher cutscene, you need to throw a flash and pick up the rocket launcher, then shoot him. It should have only taken 1 rocket, but the issue was one of those grenades that I threw, you may have noticed, actually didn't stun him, and when it doesn't do as much damage, I believe. because I got all my timings fucked up. When we're gonna come out here, and you can either shoot these zombies with a rocket launcher, or you can flash them in order to get by them. With a flash grenade. And that was Leon A. Hardcore. No damage. And you'll see we get an S+ coming up ahead. Like I said with Tyrant, just as a quick ender, you just gotta make sure that every time he walks forward, you stun him with a frag. 7 frags, dodge the jump, then every 2 grenades, dodge the jump, and then just keep throwing flashes at him, and save 1 flash for after the rocket launcher cutscene. And you'll be good to go. It shouldn't be too difficult for you. But yeah, that was the run in 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 40 seconds. I hope everyone enjoyed, or that this helps someone. And I'll be working on the rest of the Ghost Survivors DLCs, as well as the B scenarios next. So keep an eye out for that. Have a good one.